welcome everybody to Destination Diaries. I have with me Michele and Ron Hitchcock from San Antonio, Texas. They went on a wonderful cruise this past June on Anthem of the Seas, which is part of the Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. This ship has 4,905 guests that can sail each week on 16 decks. The ship experienced its maiden voyage back in April of 2015, and it is sailing the world. So I want to welcome you both, and I'm excited to have you on our YouTube podcast, Destination Diaries, to share some of your experience and what it was like to sail with Royal Caribbean on the massive, wonderful Anthem of the Seas. So welcome to both of you. I'm glad that you were able to make it to be with us today.
Thank you, John. We're
Thank you.
glad to be here.
Sure. So this cruise that you went on, it was a 12-night Discover the Canaries cruise that left Southampton, England, and went to the Canary Islands as well as parts of Portugal, Lisbon, and I believe that there was one or two other ports along the way.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what it was like when you first pulled up to that ship and saw the Anthem of the Seas sitting there in the water of Southampton, England.
For me, it was quite a sight. And the people on the bus with us, everybody was grabbing their cameras, taking pictures, because it really was a beautiful, huge ship. And it was, the excitement really started to get generated. Then getting off the bus and getting our luggage that we could take with us and getting it on the ship. It was very, very exciting to see that.
With the amount of people that can be on there, of course, it's like a skyscraper sitting in the water. You look up, then it's like that's way up there, and we were about halfway up was where our room was, and during the cruise that gave us beautiful vistas of oceanside and shorelines, and unfortunately, some people saw whales or dolphins, and we didn't get to see any myself personally. Too busy with the other things.
Yeah.
Did you have an ocean view room or a room with a balcony?
A balcony with the ocean view.
Yes.
Excellent. So you were about midway up between the first deck and all the way up to deck 16. You were about midway in a balcony cabin. How was the room? How was the size of the room? Did you feel like you had plenty of space?
Yes.
Was there storage? Was there enough room to move around?
There was plenty of room in there, surprisingly. I've seen some hotel rooms that are smaller even.
Yeah.
Everybody complains on a cruise ship that the accommodations are small. But if you imagine a queen size headboard and then a 2-foot wide cubbyhole closet and then a couch on the other side of that. That was the one wall leading from the door to the balcony. Yeah. And we had a TV on the wall and a little small refrigerator in there. And that was, I don't know why we needed a refrigerator, because you had food out there 24/7. Yeah. But it was a very good size, very comfortable.
Yeah, they had a magnetic wall. So you were able to use magnets if you purchase some magnets and hang pictures and things up or notices and all. Having the terrace or the porch, we could open the door at night sometimes. And as the ship is sailing along, listening to the water as it's going by, was wonderful. It was very relaxing and we didn't spend a lot of time in the room because we were staying busy.
And what they did do on the television is they did have some channels that would do movies, some older movies, but they had one channel that would give you a talk, I think like 15 minutes every hour of what's going to go on that day.
Yeah.
And then on the bed when you came in the evening, there was a portfolio of what the next day's activities were. So you were very able to see everything going on the ship and make your choices of what you wanted to do for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Ron, was this your first Royal Caribbean cruise?
The first Royal Caribbean, yeah.
Yeah, not our first cruise, but definitely the first Royal Caribbean. Definitely one we will go back to. People we met were getting extra rewards because this was like their second, third, fourth cruise with Royal Caribbean. So we thought, well, when that day comes and the extra rewards you can get from sailing with them, I'll definitely do it again.
They were in a status what they called a diamond level
Yeah.
Cruisers. I'm not sure how many times you have to go to get that, but they were very well versed. That was, I mean, something that you can't coordinate with a travel coordinator, but it was great for some of their input.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot of people that, I mean, out of 4,000 people, you're going to find some people that's done this more than their first rodeo.
Yeah.
And
Right.
you can go around and talk to people, and amazingly, with that many people, we kept spotting the same people
Yeah.
around the ship.
Yeah.
And you meet people, you talk, you learn, and it's just an additional plus for a cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Now, with almost 5,000 guests on board, how did the crew respond to that number of people? Did it feel like they were staffed, well enough to accommodate you and your requests and to treat you well and to have good service?
Very much so. I'm not sure how big the section was, but we had one person that was the one that took care of our room. I don't know how many rooms that she had, but we had issues. We had one issue where we lost an item, and she was very instrumental on trying to help us find it. We did finally find it in the room, but if we had anything extra accommodations that we needed, towels, and they had actually one of the events that they had was showing how they made the towel animals that we would find as we got done with our day's activities and come back to the room, and there would be there was a monkey or an elephant or a snake once, a frog. Just amazing stuff that they would do with the towels.
Yeah.
I came back to my room when I was on a cruise once, and I found a towel monkey hanging from my mirror. The monkey was wearing my sunglasses.
Oh, wow.
That was good.
Yeah.
That would be pretty fun.
So how about as far as keeping your room straight during the day? Were they responsive to
Yes.
helping keep it clean and neat and tidy? Did they come in and clean things up?
The other thing that would have to add to that, though, I don't know how clean they would keep it during the day because there was so many things going on. We weren't there during the day. We were out into different activities that were going on the ship. In the evening, there were shows which were outstanding. Myself being both of us are theater people. We've done amateur theater, and the presentations that they made were outstanding stuff. On our particular cruise, the main show that they had was a show that took all of the Queen music and revamped it and showed like an apocalyptic type of a scenario and what they knew of it. They presented a VCR that they put in the video player, and showed some of the old footages and just amazing stuff. Some of the other dialogue that came out of that came from other songs. Also, you would recognize some of them, but it was an excellent
it sounds like their own version of the Broadway show Mamma Mia.
Yes.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Most of that, yeah.
You also probably know that they bought the rights to the game show Name That Tune. So throughout the ship, there was contests and trivia that often dealt with Name That Tune kinds of events. And we sat in on those. We sat in on other games and had a lot of fun.
Some of the ones they did, was Name That Tune Michael Jackson, Name That Tune Cher,
Beatles.
Name That Tune of Eagles. And then one evening for the evening's entertainment, they put it on stage. And anybody that wanted to participate on stage, they lined up in the aisles and they'd see if they could name a tune. If they named a tune, they took a spot up on the stage. Right. If not, they'd go to the back of the line and hope that they would catch the next one. Yeah. And when they had a panel of 10 up there, it was 5 against 5, and it was just a very entertaining night to watch that and to hear all of the old music that they were trying to come up with.
It sounds like you didn't have a lot of downtime between the activities and the entertainment on board.
Yeah, no downtime.
And the people that we sat with, we were the kind that liked to sit with other people for meals. And so our assigned people at our dinner table turned out to only be 4 of us that showed up any given night. And that was okay. And we hung out with the mother and daughter. We went to the casino with the guy that would sit with us. But we also would sometimes have lunch on the ship and go to different restaurants on the ship that were covered as your mealtime. So I like that they had variety. They had places that you can go that were not any additional expense.
I actually asked the head waiter one night, the second or third night that we were there. There was a table of 10, and it was just the 5 of us. And I said, "Do these seats not go to anybody else?" And he says, "They're 4 of them were listed for somebody else. We never saw them the whole cruise, so they either missed the ship, the cruise, or I suspect that they did have other themed restaurants on the ship that were in premium, and they might have been having dinner in one of those all of those other nights." I would like to think they are, because that would be really a fun thing.
So in the main dining room, what did you think about the food?
Excellent.
It was excellent. It was.
In fact, let me share this. Ron had wanted some horseradish for some dish that he got, and they didn't have what he wanted. It was something different.
It's a non-European thing,
right?
But yeah.
But they went ahead, and the head waiter came over and said, "Let me look into this," and actually did come back the next night. And every night afterwards, if he wanted the horseradish, they had what he wanted for that, which I thought was over and above. I mean, they really excelled in things like that.
What he actually did is he went up to the little Chinese restaurant that was on board, and he got me some wasabi. He says, "Try a wasabi," and that's a hot item, and it's something I would do from there on. Is I would think of wasabi if I'm having a steak.
Yeah.
I can get
great,
but they were accommodated, and that's the point we both want to make. Yep. They were accommodating. They were pleasant. They were funny. One of them made origami animals one night just because he could, and it was really entertaining and a lot of fun. And you may know we had signed up for a chef's table, which we did on a previous cruise, and so we went to this one, and it was delicious. It was nice people. There were maybe 8 of us total, and all the meal was presented in this manner that you really felt like a VIP, and we enjoyed the meal. We enjoyed the experience, the wines that were paired with everything. Yeah. I walked out feeling a little woozy, but that was okay. That's part of it.
In the main dining room, you had meals that were presented that were a little bit elevated. They weren't just something that was thrown on a plate and it's like, "Here you go." They were somewhat elevated. But this chef's table experience was even highly elevated. Meals that were just outstanding. And of course, they had one of the person would explain the wine pairing that they would give with each course.
Right. And, so we enjoy it. A chef's table is a little extra. You pay for that, and you set it up in advance, and it's limited availability. The people that were supposed to be there missed their opportunity. So because that was the last one, I think, for the ship.
Well, it sounds like you were never hungry.
Never.
No.
That there was plenty of food
Came
going
back
around.
About 5 pounds heavier. Oops.
Well, you lose weight when you get off the ship because you never quite eat like that again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
That's great. Yeah. How about other restaurants on the ship? Did you get to the buffet, or did you get to eat in any of the themed restaurants?
Pizza,
specialty restaurants.
My God!
There was one of the included venues was a little pizza shop, and they would be open till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. So you get done with the show, and after watching a show or whatever, you're kind of hungry, if that's possible. But you could go down there and grab a slice of pizza, get a soda to go with it. They had some of the premium restaurants. They had was a Chinese one. They had a steakhouse. Yeah. They had another cafe one. There was more than that I remember.
The only premium one was the chef's table one. We didn't. Yeah. We went to they had cheeseburgers and they had hot dogs and they had all kinds of things. Ice cream. I mean, you had enough ice cream to sink the ship practically.
911, what's your emergency?
So we had plenty to eat at any given time if we were hungry.
One of the spectacle positions that they had a mechanical bartender, and it was not in the shape of a person.
It's a robot.
In the ceiling was all the different bottles of liquor, and this arm would go and it would fill up whatever it needed and put it into the glass and then set it in front of you.
Yeah, that
You
was
know, that
impressive.
was like that's really
Different.
interesting.
That is something that has stood out to me when I saw a marketing promo video that Royal Caribbean put out when the ship was new. And I'm going to see if I can link it in our description down below on our YouTube channel, Destination Diaries. If it's still available,
Sure.
I will find it and I'll link it down below so that anybody who's watching can see that promo video. And I remember seeing that mechanical robot shaking up the drinks and presenting things. It looked amazing. It looked like a lot of fun.
Right.
How about the crew? And I don't mean the the people that were your bartenders and room stewards, but what about the staff that represented Royal Caribbean
Well,
as far
Excellent.
as the business part of it, the
all the way down.
cruise director and
Yes.
the
Oh
people
my
that
gosh,
assisted
she was
them?
hysterical.
Um,
She was hysterical.
Oh, yeah.
And if you saw her on the ship at any point, she was pleasant and receptive. Never, ever did I feel any of the staff were in a rush to try and get past you or move away. They listened to your questions. Sometimes we were trying to get something adjusted or check something on our bill. You went up there, you got to one of the customer service people. They brought everything up. They explained it. It was outstanding for the staff. And also when we did Tai Chi, he was a lot of fun. It explained all the moves and things. It was just really pleasant.
That went all the way up to the bridge, because there was one night in the main dining room that the captain himself came around and was working, with the rest of the tables and introducing and talking and actually just even continuing to make us feel welcome.
Yes.
Oh, that is great. Now, Ron and Michele, most cruises, I would say that a standard cruise is usually 7 nights. Your cruise was 12 nights. It included quite an itinerary that left Southampton, England, and sailed to Lisbon, other parts of Portugal, as well as the Canary Islands.
Yeah.
What did that feel like? I know that you've cruised in the past. They were probably 7-day cruises, I imagine, but you could tell me if I'm wrong.
Sure.
Did 12 nights feel a lot longer, or did the time pass very quickly and you were kept, very busy during all of it?
It passed quite quickly. It was like, here we are on the night before we're going to disembark, and it's like, where'd the time go?
Yeah.
And it did go across the Sunday, and we were in a port on a Sunday, which in the European areas, they roll up the sidewalks on Sundays. But they did have excursions for that day that went out to some of the beaches. If you were somebody that liked beaches, again, all of the different activities, the name the tune things, the Tai Chi. They had other facilities on board with the little surfboard area. They had one of the spacewalk things with the thing where you're float weightless and I fly.
Yeah.
Did
you do that?
No.
No. No, look, yeah, no, we didn't do that. But there was one main room that had they had dodgem cars out there sometimes they had dances out there on that area. There was roller skating, all in different times. Again, the pamphlet that they leave you the night before tells you what's going to be going on in that room for the next day. 2 pools. They had indoor heat hot tubs. And I mean, if you didn't find something to do on that ship for 12 days, that was your fault.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And getting on and off the ship at the different ports that you stopped at, was that smooth and seamless?
Very smooth. They gave you a little ID card when you were going out to go on to excursions or just to go off the ship. You laid it on the console. It beeped and you went off the ship. Coming back, they were conscious of any liquors or anything, certain items that you bought off on shore. They would confiscate. That sounds terrible, but what they would do is hold that until the day that you left the ship to leave the ship for from the cruise, and they would give those back to you then. Obviously, there's things you don't want somebody having bottles and bottles of liquor on there and abusing themselves. So they would, to help keep that kind of an incident from happening, they would take those. It was like going through the TSA, very much quicker than the TSA in the airport. You would walk through, you go through the detector. If you were carrying something, they would look and say, "Okay, let us have that until you leave." And
Right.
it was very easy to come on.
Yeah, and that's standard practice with all of the cruise lines, that when you come back on board from any of the islands that you visit, if you're bringing bottles of liquor that you purchased on the island, they'll take that from you, set it aside, and deliver it back to your room the night before the cruise gets back to their disembarkation port. So that sounds wonderful. I'm going to include photos of the ship. I'll also include a link down below to Royal Caribbean and any promo videos that show Anthem of the Seas down below in the comment section. I want to thank you for being a part of Destination Diaries, talking about Anthem of the Seas with Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. It sounds like you had a wonderful time. I hope that you will, share this with your family and friends and anybody who's watching this. If you would like, subscribe and share this video with others. That helps us to get noticed. And we look forward to hearing from you, reading your comments, and helping you find a wonderful place, a beautiful cruise, other destinations that are geared to make all of your former memories jealous. So I want to thank you for being a part of this. It was wonderful to speak with you, and I look forward to sharing with you again and planning a future trip coming.
Thank you, John.
Absolutely, John. You've always been very pleasant for us, and has coordinated all of our excursions to the utmost. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, thank you. Good talking to you. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this. And until next time, travel safe and be well.
Thank you, John.
You too.